Fox is America's election headquarters, and Donald Trump appears to be rebooting his campaign after losing the Wisconsin primary to Ted Cruz. The changes include an expanded team and a greater role for his new convention manager, Paul Manafort, a 40-year political veteran. Trump has won more delegates than any other Republican candidate, but he could fall short of the magic number of 1,237 needed to clinch the nomination, and that leads to a convention battle, should it occur. Meanwhile, Trump also could be engineering a new media strategy. Let's talk about it with Judy Miller, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter, author, and Fox News contributor, Lynn Sweet, Washington bureau chief at the Chicago Sun-Times. They're talking about a new media strategy, Judy. What has been the media strategy of Donald Trump's campaign to this point?
Rely on us to be totally addicted to him and to give him an unlimited amount of free airtime without having to spend any of his own money. And I would say, John and Lynn, that that's been a pretty good strategy. It has worked very well for him. He had 14 hours of airtime in March on cable news, and according to one outlet, he had 146 minutes of free airtime on the nightly newscasts versus 26 minutes for Hillary and Bernie combined.
He has bragged, Lynn, about running a different kind of campaign, and his campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, says, we're breaking the mold here. We're using a lot of social media, but he lost Wisconsin, and that seems to have caused some rethinking of how you run a campaign.
Well, what he is running against are the laws of gravity, and that is this, that as you get closer to the Republican convention, and you only are running against two people, the rules mean a lot. And he now realizes he's in danger of losing some of the delegates he won, and because of the rules, he may not be able to keep everyone together to the convention and in the races ahead. And that means you just have to have a different kind of operation. He has to do more retail, not wholesale, in his targeting of the delegates. It's great to fill a Coliseum with 18,000 people, but he needs just a few dozen to clinch the nomination. That's why he needs more strategy, more targeting at this stage.
Well, he's also been railing against, the so-called establishment Republicans, the folks who run the Republican National Committee, Judy, but he had a meeting with them. What's that all about?
Well, according to the news reports, it was to discuss how things were going to be handled at a convention if he did not get to that magic number that you referred to earlier, 1,247, what we're all kind of blasted into our heads. Look, the problem is, as Lynn just mentioned, he has to run a different kind of campaign, and that means not having your campaign manager be the news by being accused of manhandling a female reporter. It means not having side issues divert you from your mission, which is getting those delegates. This is where ground game, as Lynn mentioned, becomes absolutely crucial, and Trump hasn't had to worry about that until now. Now it's really serious, and if he wants to really be not just the front runner, but the actual nominee, he's got to get the delegates. And you're right, you have to switch not only the way in which you approach the general public, but the delegates per se.
There are, questions, obviously, about what happened in that case that has resulted in a simple battery charge being filed, Lynn, against his campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. Trump stands solidly behind him, has been tweeting his support, but you have to wonder how that is flying with women voters, and 70% of them say they don't like Donald Trump.
Well, that's just one of the problems he will face if indeed he ever gets to the nomination. But the problem he has, I think, right now is even bigger than just winning and keeping female voters. It's being able to navigate all the rules. Now, these rules are made by the establishment just to address ways that they could kind of keep their hands into what happens. These are not rules, and there will be a new set of rules when you get to the convention. Now, this is not a pathway that was created just because of Donald Trump. It's the navigation system that everyone has to go through. And if a campaign has a controversial figure in it, in this case it's Corey Lewandowski with that charge facing him, you know, in campaigns it's always something. And in a small campaign without a lot of bandwidth, it's harder to figure out what to do. And if I may quickly say, the Trump brand is on being able to deliver service in the lavish hotel. He has a lot of people that work at hotels. You probably need that same level of staffing in a national campaign.
We'll see whether this recalibration time brings us a kinder, gentler, or some other kind of Donald Trump. We'll see. Judy Miller, Lynn Sweet, thank you both.
Thank you, John.
Well, thank you.